All right, guys, I am home. It is the next day. It is almost 4 o'clock. I haven't seen the countertops yet. I'm really anxious. Looking at it through here, it looks kind of cool. Like, there's like a little bit of a sheen to it just because it is like a top coat. There's gonna be like the smallest amount of shine, which is perfectly fine. But let's see what it looks like. Get 2 coats on it today, hopefully. Ooh. Ooh. That came out absolutely horrible. You can see, I assume this would probably be covered up with more coats. But, like, what? That looks horrible, like, in every aspect. Got more bubbles here. The roller marks there. Wow, that is like worse than I would have imagined it being if I imagined it being bad. It's on cool. So that makes me want to just stop. That is literally trash. I'm sorry for sounding so negative here, but this literally looks awful. How does it look that bad? How does that even happen? Well, I guess break out the sander again. That's exactly what I wanted to be doing. Instead of just, you know, get another coat on there and being almost done. I think it might be on me. Read the directions, you know. Number 4, stir well and regularly during use. Do not shake. Remember what I sat here doing for like 2 minutes yesterday, if not longer? Shaking the living shit out of this can. Well, so I Googled it, and I was like, what happens if you shake it? That. So, today I'm not gonna shake it, and people said like you can use like a source of heat, which could be, you know, like a flame, like a propane torch, or you know, like a heat gun or something like that. You can use that to kind of help bubbles escape if there are when you lay it down, and also like basically like get it on there and then leave it. Like normally like with paint you want to like go over it one way, then go over it like another way, or do like, you know, like a back roll or whatever. This says basically like get it on there, get it laid out, and then don't touch it, because you can overwork it really easy. So I think it was just a combination of me overworking it and, more importantly, shaking the living shit out of the can. So awesome. I guess I will be busting out the sander and spending the next probably hour sanding it down. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna get to sanding. Alrighty, so like literally an hour of sanding on the dot. And this is what we're left with, an absolute mess. And I still haven't even gotten the front edge, actually, now that I think of it. So you can see the high spots, just how ridiculously unlevel this counter was. The flat black on its own looked so good. Had it not been for this stupid crap right here, I mean, I don't know where I would have been because we needed some sort of top coat, but had it not been for that stuff coming out like complete garbage, this would have essentially been done tonight. And it makes me so mad. Like more mad than when the cabinets weren't cooperating with all the stuff I did. Because I'm out of this, which is what, you know, I used for this. And so get to drive across town again on a day that I don't really even have much time because I just got home from work and it's already late. Find matte black paint, buy more rollers, more paint supplies, Retape everything off because this tape sucked. Like, I used duct tape thinking it might work better because that blue tape sucks. This stuff sucks just as bad. I'm sorry, I'm totally complaining and just, you know, venting here, but man, this just literally ruined my day. Like, I already had a horrible day being at work so long and dealing with all the crap there. And then I come home to this. So, not happy at all. Had to do all that sanding now, so everything, even though I was using the vacuum, everything, look at my shirt, for instance, just my hands, the rag I just used to clean, like, just completely filthy. You know, the white cabinets have black dust all over them. I'm sure that's great. You know, that's going to be fun to clean off, and hopefully it actually comes off and doesn't, like, dry on there and stuff. Alright, guys. $50 for this quart of paint. Holy crap. So, as you can see, I'm not too upset. So, I decided to go back to Sherwin-Williams. That's like a tongue twister for me to say. I don't know why. And I was like, you know, because I appreciated, like, when I called before and had the question, like, they helped me out, you know, like, it wasn't like I had to go in there and just know what I wanted or whatever. So, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go this way because the light's green. So I knew, you know, I could go in there and talk to him about it, you know, and probably get, like, some good advice, you know, or some recommendations, and hopefully walk out of there with stuff I need. So I go in there and I talk to the guy. I was like, you know, I'm painting my countertops, you know, we're doing a matte black. I was like, you know, we use this kit, and, you know, we ended up just using the base coat, which is like a matte black, and we loved the way it looked, so we didn't use the rest of the stuff. And, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I talked to you on the phone yesterday, right? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So it was that guy, and I explained to him what happened. I was like, I somehow, in all the stuff I read online and reading the directions on the can, I missed the, you know, do not shake can part. So I shook the living shit out of it, and he's like, oh. I was like, yep. The thing about a countertop is the paint, you need it to be really, really hard. You know, like soft paint, it's gonna chip or it's gonna scratch or, you know, just break off really easy. And, you know, just look like crap after a really short period of time. You know, like a wall paint, you don't want to use like a latex paint because it's way too soft. It's never going to be hard enough. And it would just feel weird, you know, it wouldn't be nice and hard like a countertop. So, he had said, because I asked him, I was like, I picked out a little color card, and it was a black, but it was like a really deep, almost kind of matte looking black, but, you know, obviously if you wanted it matte, you would mix it into like a matte finish, which he said is really hard to come by, like in a hard finish, because all the matte is for walls. And you know, he's like, your best, you know, your only option really for something that would be hard would be like a satin. So he pulled out some examples, and I'm like, honestly, I told him, I was like, on the card itself, I'm like, if you could make it look like this card, you know, that would be more than okay. You know, I really like that. It's glossier than the matte that we painted the countertops with, but it's not glossy, if that makes sense. Like, there's a little bit of shine to it, but it's not glossy. It almost looks like a deeper black, and I might be completely wrong, you know, because I'm going on a card this big versus, you know, an entire countertop. But he's like, oh, I could definitely do that, you know, with a satin finish. And I'm like, sweet. So, you know, he showed me, he said, we've got this emerald urethane for trim. He's like, it's our hardest paint, and by hard he means like literally hard. You know, like a hard paint is going to resist scratches and stuff like that much better. And I was like, okay. And I was like, that's the stuff we actually use for our countertop, or our cabinets. You know, I know it is eventually going to need touched up and stuff like that. And he's like, honestly, he's like, this stuff is going to be perfect then. I'm like, okay. Now, next question, top coat. And he said, nothing on this. So basically just do a couple coats of this, and I'm going to do more than a couple. I'm going to try to get 3 down. Because you do the first one really thin, second one really thin, but that's going to be full coverage. But, you know, if something does happen to scratch it, I would rather it scratch into the black and not expose the tan, you know, countertop underneath. So I'll try to do 3 coats. But anyway, so of course, this stuff, it's this right here, the emerald urethane trim enamel. So of course, you know, like all the quarts, this is a quart size, not a gallon. All the quarts of stuff I've looked at before has been like anywhere from like $12 to like $25. You know, not bad at all, not bad. How much do you think this stuff is? 50-something dollars. So I'm like, oh, come on. And then I was like, oh, I remembered online I saw a 30% off code that says online or in store. So I'm like, can I use this code? He's like, he looked at it, he goes, oh, 30% off? I was like, yeah. And he's like, I'll get you 40% off. And I'm like, sweet. I got the paint, some more like painting supplies. I got like some extra stir sticks, a can opener finally, so I'll have the right tool to open it with. And then like a multi-pack of those plastic disposable paint trays. And I paid, I think it was like 35 bucks out the door. So love those guys. We've lived around that store for almost my whole life, and I have never shopped there before. And in the past week, I've been there 3 times, and I've loved it every time. So really happy about that. But I'm gonna go home. I'm almost home. I'm gonna eat, and then I gotta sand the lip of the counter, like the front edge, which shouldn't take long at all. And then we will be getting some paint down. Thank God. So unfortunately, I won't be able to. He said, he's like, you know, if you get it on around like 7:30, he's like, you'd probably be good to recoat around 11 or 12. I was like, no, I would be long in bed by then, unfortunately. But so unfortunately, I'll have to wait till tomorrow after work to recoat. Or you know what? I could theoretically, I might do this. I could theoretically get up about a half hour early for work and throw a coat on it, and then that, oh, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do, because that will make it to where I can get it done tomorrow night. You know, countertop done, and then, you know, it can dry all night, and then Saturday after work, you know, start doing the backsplash and everything else. So I'm gonna do 1 coat tonight. I'm gonna get up for work early tomorrow, which is gonna suck ass, because I already get up at 4 in the morning. I'll just have everything down there ready to go. So all I literally gotta do is just open up the paint, pour it in there, and, you know, get it ready. Alright, you guys, I got 1 coat of this stuff on. I love this color. So obviously it's going to be a lot different when it dries, but right now it's like, think of like if you took like a charcoal gray color and then put like a shot of black in it and mix it up. That's what it looks like. I really like it. Really hoping it self-levels. There's not any bubbles, but obviously you can see there's texture from the reflection of the light there. And definitely gonna have to do a couple coats because the bare spots on the counter shine through pretty bright. But aside from that, it looks really good. Renewed my faith in getting this project done again. So yeah, I am going to go upstairs, take a shower. I'm gonna wash this out because it's water-based, so it washes out with soap and water. Because might as well reuse it if it works, right? So I'm gonna let this dry, and like I said, go take a shower. Well, wash this out, go take a shower, then come back down here and get everything ready for tomorrow morning, because it actually took a little bit longer than I thought. It's 8:50. Yeah, well, it took about a half hour. You just got to be like really particular with rolling this stuff on, because it, you know, you don't want too much, but you don't want too little. You don't want to, you know, you want to minimize your brush strokes and, you know, your roller pattern. You don't want to work it too much, so it does take a little bit of precision, but I got faith in this. Let's hope it turns out good. I got a little heater here I'm going to turn on, keep it warmer in here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it turns out good. Please cross your fingers. you guys will see here in 1 second, but it'll be a while for me. All right, guys, it is 4:47 in the morning. Just got done painting like 10 minutes ago. I got it all over my hands, and well, I just didn't have the effort to care to wash it off. So the color looks really good. I really like it. It's a tad glossier than what we had before. You know, what we had before was like just pure flat, like no gloss whatsoever. This has a little bit of gloss to it because it's a satin finish. It definitely is a lot thicker too, so it's drying slower. It was still fairly soft this morning when I woke up. Definitely dry to the touch, but still soft, if that makes sense. If you guys paint, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't paint, you know, you guys probably don't care. I don't need to break it down. It's just not like fully hardened yet, you know, because paint has stuff in it that makes it like cure or whatever. So I did another coat, got really good coverage. There's a few spots where it looked like it almost didn't want to stick, which is kind of a bummer. I might have to just sand those down and then sand them really rough, and then I'll paint that little spot again, and then when I do another coat, it'll all just blend back in. So, you know, there's ways around it, but yeah, so 2 coats on. I'm going to work, actually leaving about 5-6 minutes earlier than usual, so I'll have a little bit of time and I have to rush, so I will see you guys after work. All right, you guys, it is, wow. I do a little less beard care, you know, now that it's covered with the mask all day, every day. So don't mind the mess. But it is 3 o'clock on the day, well, same day that you guys just saw. It is now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it has been like 11 hours for this stuff to dry. Not bad. It's not perfect. It's a lot glossier than that matte black, which, you know, is kind of a bummer, but I expect that because it's a satin finish versus a matte. I'm kind of kicking myself now because I could have definitely thinned it down with some distilled water, which actually also takes the sheen down a little bit. But I didn't, so it is what it is. But it still looks really good. So you can see there's a little bit, you know, of a gloss. Like you can see, you know, the light reflecting. To be honest with you, like this feels more like a normal countertop now, like as in like looks wise. I'm not like literally feeling it, but just with the gloss, you know, it just kind of strikes you now as like a black countertop, you know, just like a plain black, you know, like laminate countertop or something like that. There's a little bit of like orange peel, but at the same time, like it's pretty even all over. Like, you know, what orange peel there is, it's like really even all over. The paint is definitely still soft even after, you know, 8 hours of drying, which is weird to me because, you know, I did the cabinets and these things, like I felt like I could handle them like literally within an hour. Like this stuff was like, felt like it was bone dry. But I got to remember too, spraying versus rolling, what I rolled on is probably way thicker than what's on the cabinets so far with just 2 coats, you know, even though the cabinets have 3 coats that were sprayed on, because the spray is really thin. So of course it's going to dry a lot quicker. So I got to keep reminding myself that, like, no, this stuff's not going to be dry to the touch, you know, like you can touch it, you know what I'm saying? But like if I was to like push on it, it would definitely leave fingerprints, you know, and like kind of mar the paint up. So that's where we are at now. To be honest with you, I've kind of decided because, again, like I don't want to downplay the countertops. Like it's really nice. I like it. The black goes with the white amazingly. It's a little bit glossier than I wanted, but overall, regardless of what product we use, there was going to be a texture, unfortunately. Like, and I just don't have the willpower or time. I mean, I guess I have the time, but now it's kind of getting to the nitty gritty. Like, look, we want this damn kitchen back together. We want to be able to use it. So we did decide, like, I did look up the price of countertops. Like, you know, we have a small kitchen, you know, so it's not huge. It's not, you know, some, you know, 30-foot section of counter, you know, that we need multiple pieces, custom, you know, built and whatnot. I don't remember off the top of my head, because this was actually back when I was planning this remodel that, you know, I looked at these prices. But for an actual laminate countertop, like, you know, exactly what we had, but, you know, obviously a different color, which we would go with like some, like either like a really dark gray or a black. I feel like black might be hard to find because I don't know if that's like a thing. It was literally, if I remember correctly, like $200 or less. Don't quote me on that. Please don't quote me on that. But it would point me, whatever it was very reasonable. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all. And so basically what it is, you know, we'd buy a chunk and then we would cut it to fit and then, you know, cut the sinkhole out and basically just glue and screw it back down, you know, just like this countertop. It's exactly what this is, except it would be, the countertop is actually the color we want versus having our countertop with a layer of paint over it. Because unfortunately, like, I do believe over time this is just, you know, gonna scratch and chip. I'm not gonna say easy. I don't mean it like that, but I think with any kind of painted coating, if you're not doing some kind of resin on it, it's not gonna be as durable as you want a countertop to be. Also, my repairs of where the counter splits, because it's two pieces, like one piece goes all the way over to here and then it splits like right here. I don't know if you can actually see it in the video, but I sanded it down because it always bothered me. And I'm like, dude, you could just sand that a little bit, put some body filler in there or something, even like a wood filler, sand it smooth and then paint over it. You'd never see that gap. You still see the gap. And I almost think now it's a little bit worse. Like, now you don't really see the gap, but you can see like where I sanded it, you know, too much and didn't fill enough, or when I filled it, the stuff shrunk down after I sanded it. So that kind of sucks, but luckily you literally only see like that much of that. Once the sink is in, it covers most of that. You don't really see the one in the back. But yeah, so today I am going to get one more coat. I kind of thought about not even doing one more coat, and that is still up in the air, but plans today are to figure out right now, am I going to do one more coat or not? Because if I am, I want to do it right now, so it's literally like dry by tonight. And then tomorrow we can, actually tonight I'd like to start putting stuff back in the cabinets. And then tomorrow the sink will go in because it should be dry enough by then. And if it's not, you're not going to, what part that the sink would touch, there's a lip, you know, so you're not going to see like actual bad paint in that area. You know, it is what it is. But I want a damn sink in here again. I want the stove back in here. Also, I would like to get another coat of this gray paint on. So, yeah, I do appreciate if you guys have watched this far. I don't know. I haven't actually edited any of this video. It's all sitting on my computer right now because, like, I just lean over and plug my phone in and, like, dump all my files when my phone gets full. So, I don't know if I've made a lot of videos out of this or just a couple, but if you guys have watched thus far, I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have been somewhat entertained. It's not really like a how-to video per se, but just, you know, kind of like my normal vlog, you know, like this is what I'm doing, you know, follow along, you know. So, and of course, if you guys are interested in doing this stuff, you know, hopefully you did learn a few things, and if not, you know, definitely drop a comment below and I'll try to read them, you know, be glad to offer my help if I can, you know, or advice, whatever. I've learned a lot about paint, a lot about spraying, rolling, the brushes, a lot about, you know, what's good and bad on these. Oh, you know what? Another thing I need to do too, you can see the gap up there. It's so minor, like, because I don't even think about it, but the trim that goes all along the top of the cabinets to hide the gap, because you can see, like, not all of them are, like, perfectly even up top. I got to get that. And what they use those, like, long, thin, like, nails. And I'm thinking I might have to buy a nail gun, because I don't know anybody that has one. I might buy one and keep it in really good shape and return it. Well, I don't know yet. Because I literally need it for, like, probably like 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe like 10 nails or something. And I do not want to use a hammer. I'm not hammering. I'm not taking a hammer anywhere near these freshly painted cabinets, because these things were so much work. But yeah, so that is where I'm at now. You guys will obviously see what I do here in a second.